just in general, because I know she is starting a new business. Because if for towing, I feel like maybe not like an average Joe. With towing, you can't really get customers that way, but potentially like dealerships or body shops, stuff like that, where you can get good relationships with them, so that when there is an issue, they call them before.
Can you guys hear Jamie when she's explaining her side of things too? Hopefully.
Yeah, I can hear her.
Okay, perfect.
She said her new basket business, not towing companies.
What?
She's doing gift basketing. So I would say, when you did your market research, when you were doing your business plan for this, you should have a type of person who can afford it and who would help. It'd be a busy person, someone who can't get out to do that, or like a mom who has newborns or kids that can't get out.
What is the basket business?
Gift baskets. So she does personal
For
gift
everybody?
baskets, and then does like personal delivery or stuff like that.
So for something like that, you should build out like a core product, and you should have kind of like, if it's going to be on special holidays or anniversaries or whatever. Yeah, so that's how you actually narrow it down. So like if you're doing it to that stuff, I would say you're probably looking at couples. Most couples are probably going to be younger, earlier. You're not at teenager age. You're probably not going towards people who are like 60 and older. It's probably going to be around like 20 to 35 maybe.
I don't even think 20. It'd be like probably someone who's in their new
25.
career. Yeah,
25 to 35. So you can narrow it down. Couples, and then you're also going to be narrowing it down to advertising around like Christmas or Valentine's Day, stuff like that. And then probably, I would imagine, your region. So if you're only going to do it around here, or if you're going to do it across the United States, stuff like that.
Grant Cardone, so this is something that we actually learned, and actually Brandon, his business partner, and actually many more that we're talking on stage, they actually have a personal shopper, not necessarily like a gift basket per se, but they have for each occasion, they have them put together some type of gift for their wife. So Grant that shopper or that gifter will send them a list of things that they know that Elena likes, and he'll mark the 3 things that he wants to get her. That person will create this gift for her and then mail it. And then she gets a gift, and it's from him, but he didn't have to leave his house. He didn't have to go find this stuff. So if that's something that like you're doing with your gift baskets, then I would say a professional man would be probably your number one client.
I don't want to spend too much time on one person and one example, but is there any other questions about like figuring out who your core people are, your core customer, and then making your mission statement as well, or creating it? No? Okay.
What's our mission statement?
I did say it. It's on verbatim. It's on our wall here. So your mission statement, vision statement, and core values should be kind of plastered everywhere. So ours are in our waiting room here. So our mission statement is Lifestyle Tint caters to the average person with an easy 7 days a week, extended hour scheduling, using professional grade products at an awesome price. So we also use that for all of our decision making. So like our guys didn't want to work weekends, but that's how we help our customers. Our number one goal is customer service, and you have to do that by being available. So we're open every day of the week. We're open until 8 p.m. And then I even created a VIP program for our customers that couldn't make it in that time reference. So, or they wanted it done like right away. So basically our VIP program is it's a small fee, but it guarantees that their car will be done in 24 hours. And very worst case scenario, if my guys don't want to do it, I'll stay here until all the cars are complete. And that's something that no other shop will do. So then when you use that as ads too, if you're going to advertise on like Facebook, you can mention that VIP program of what separates you from everybody else to kind of advertise and get them in to your funnel. Because another thing going with that is I'm working towards like small business owners, right? And they usually don't have a lot of time. So that's how I'm going to advertise towards them to get them in my funnel, to get them in the front door.
He also said, how did you come up with your mission statement?
Kind of you have to do like the who, what, where, when, why. So we're obviously Lifestyle Tint. We're selling to the average person, which is, the majority of people I feel like are going to be kind of starting their new family and have the extra money to be buying their new cars and starting their first businesses and stuff like that. Blue collar, and then how we do it 7 days a week with extended hour scheduling for the best customer service, which is our culture and in the vision statement. And then using professional grade products at an awesome price. So we want lifetime warranty products that we use, and then we want the lower prices. So we try to keep our prices as competitive as we can compared to the other shops. And that's kind of how we created it. The way to advertise too, to get to them, would be like if you're gonna create an ad, would be getting an attention getter. That's probably not big enough, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
You need to use not the fine part of the marker. That's why I got you a big marker.
All right, so the attention getter, if you're gonna create an ad, that's gonna be like moms or dads or something that's really shocking, like, I don't know, the explosion that happened or something that was on the news or something like that, that's gonna be like, oh, okay, and get their attention. So you get their attention first, and then you state the problem that they're having. So I actually just created one for Facebook and I called out DILFs. So that's something that you don't see on Facebook very often. And it actually works pretty good because people don't see that. Problem, and I brought up, I went along with like looking good and catering towards people getting tint that looks nice. So I basically said, are you a DILF or are you trying to become a DILF? That's their problem, is, they're not good looking or their car doesn't look nice, right? And then I said the solution, which is our window tint. And then I even brought up if you're like too ugly, which I wouldn't recommend like insulting people, but the way that I did it is kind of like more shocking because you don't see that really on Facebook. And I said we have a privacy film for that, or a limo tint, which is 5%. So I was offering a solution. Okay.
And he's not saying he's calling out ugly people.
No.
That's terrible.
No.
It's kind of our people who follow us too. We've learned.
We try to be fun. I'm not too serious with business and stuff. You gotta have fun. You gotta we cater towards that customer.
Well, just know your audience.
Yeah, you gotta.
We've tested the field.
Yeah. we don't like working with Karens. They fall out of our funnel. So I provided the solution, right? Window tint. And then we do a call to action. So on Facebook, this would be the call now button. So basically anywhere you're advertising, you should have an attention getter. You should tell the problem. And they might not even know the problem until you tell them what the problem is. Offer them a solution and then give them a way to contact you to solve their solution. But the number one goal is to get them in the door down here. And then once you get them in the door, you can ask for the sale, or even ask for the sale by, I usually say like, yeah, well, once you come in, I can show you our display board, something like that. That's kind of asking for the sale without actually getting the sale. All right, so the next step is our front door. Beautiful door, I know. So what I'm going over for the most part is going to be like one-on-one customer interactions. It's not going to be like online sales, selling stuff like that. It's going to be actually interacting with the customer, especially if they're coming in your building. So once we get them in the door, we would start our sales timeline. Let's do. And then once they come in the door, the first thing you do is you're going to qualify the customer. So we got to figure out what their problem is. What?
You. I get him this huge board, and he writes tiny.
I'm not used to writing like that. So this is qualifying questions. So right now what you're trying to do is you're trying to figure out what their problem is because your company solves it. That's literally why companies are created, is for solving problems. So when customers come in for us, I usually ask them like, what is your goal outcome for coming to us today? And things that I'm looking for is they want their car to look nice. They have kids in the back that they're complaining the sun's too bright. They want UV protection, especially for houses. They don't want like their furniture and flooring and stuff to get damaged. So you're trying to figure out what the problem is, why they're trying to buy your product, and then based off of that product or that problem, that's the product that you have that will solve the problem that you refer them to. If that makes sense. So the next one would be recommending a product.
Well, that's also to how you make sure that they're in your funnel.
Correct.
Because if you can't, if these questions that you're trying to qualify them with, if you're not matching it, they want perfection. You know, for like us, if they're like, I want top notch perfection, no dust, no nothing, I want it everything top notch. It's just something that's not realistic. Then we just know that maybe that customer just isn't for us, and we want to refer them to another tint shop that knows that they can give them that, or they charge enough to be able to continue to keep trying until they get that perfection.
That's usually also kind of up here when you're trying to get people. They're not usually in the door yet. So like one thing that we get a lot of is products that we don't usually do. Like there's some vinyl stuff that we're just not really the best in. We could technically do it, but we refer it to somebody else to do it. Or like for tinting, we do get a lot of people that ask us to go mobile and like tint their vehicles outside. Well, that doesn't equal a quality product to our standard, so it technically isn't in our funnel for our business. And there are tinters that will go mobile and they'll tint outside, and it just doesn't equal like our quality, so we kick them out of our funnel too. So you should be able to recommend a product that's going to work the best. The nice thing, at least about our industry, is the best product usually solves the most problems. So like our full ceramic, pretty much any problem that they're gonna have, it's gonna solve. And so we usually recommend that first, because obviously that's what makes us the most money, but it's also the best product, so it's gonna solve the most problems for them, which is gonna make them happy. Now, if they're having issues with price, like they can't afford it or whatever like that, you have to kind of handle those objections. So with the objections, you might be able to figure out like, why are they saying they can't afford it? You know, is the value not there? Because sometimes they'll say, well, why would I get this ceramic for $500 if I can get, you know, a standard dyed for only it's going to go up to $250 starting May or April 1st. So you have to add the value to that product and show them why the $500 is worth it. You know, most people have their vehicle for 5 years. In the summertime, it's not going to be super hot every time you get in it. You know, for houses, the higher end products are going to keep the rooms a lot cooler. They're going to reduce the glare a lot better. They're going to last a lot longer, and they look way nicer. So you have to make sure that with your recommended product, you're providing as much value as possible. Once you kind of get like the okay on that, then you would go to the price proposal. So this is where you're kind of like testing the field. So I would say, this is the ceramic, these are all the benefits. It's going to be $500. So it's only $500 for your sedan. Would you like to get that done today? And if they say, yeah, let's do it, then I just grab the keys and we go around and we start. Or they might come up with the objections like, well, it's kind of expensive, or I gotta ask my wife or whatever. And then you have to have ways around all of those objections. And most of you should kind of know in your industry the normal objections that you get. So what I would recommend doing, especially if you have employees, is writing down those objections and then writing down like the answers to them, so you can fire them off almost immediately to handle those.
And sometimes you don't actually know the objections until you start asking hard questions. So I am up front with customer service reps, and I train our customer service reps. And before we started actually doing our sales funnel and getting that down to a T, I didn't really understand. I didn't know what exactly we kept having as an issue until I started asking the hard questions. And they're like, "Oh, yep, Standard Pro." I'm like, "Cool, okay, Standard Pro." Well, then when I started kind of not assuming, but just kind of going straight to the product that I know is going to benefit them the best, and they're like, "Oh, well, I think I'm just going to stay with CXP, which are mid-grade." I'm like, "Oh," and then I asked them, why just CXP? What does CXP have that intrigues you? They're like, "Well, this, and this, and this." And then I'm like, "Okay, so there's my objection. So how can I overcome that?" Giving them the reasoning why Evolve is going to be what they're actually going to like, instead of just looking at the price tag long term. So once you start asking those hard, uncomfortable questions, which are very uncomfortable, but you do get used to it, you understand how they come about, and then how to actually avoid them. Because when I'm selling, I don't really get much objections anymore. I know my newer customer service reps do, but they kind of give them more time to think about it rather than giving them the options. And if people come in, there's some people that are just like, "I just want Standard Pro, I want my car looking good, that's all I care about." And you're like, "Cool." And then you can't really push them, you just know that that's what they want. But hard questions are extremely important.
And even selling, so with upselling, make sure that you just kind of respect the customer. Inform them of what the higher end products do. And I know a lot of these companies push upselling, and they're kind of like pushy salesmen. If they think the Standard Pro is really all they want, and that's going to help them, that's totally fine, because you really don't know what their life is at that point. But if you service them so well on your entry level product, and then you get in front of them because now they trust you, so you get in front of them and you can offer them a higher end product later on, or maybe they have more money and are doing better in life later on and get a new vehicle, or then they finally get their house, that kind of thing, then we can offer the other products. So especially with a first time customer, we just try and complete a sale. And that way you earn their trust, and you know that they're going to come back to you for referrals. And then we're going to talk about at the end too of how you actually get them to refer for you. But the first thing is to get the one sale complete and earn their trust.
So Jason said the question he likes to use is, "Why is that important to you?" Because that tells you why it's an objection, and knowing your product versus your competition's will help with that.
For sure.
Oh, absolutely. I always do. I'm like, and it helps a lot, but sometimes it gets a little long when they're going on about things.
So when I was talking about trust, we'll put close on here first. So basically, you can either close right here. Let's make that nicer.
And bigger.
So when you get to the funnel, these are the optimal customers you want, that know exactly what they want. They're not super picky. They close right away. Man, I love these guys. So these are the ones that you want to recycle through. But you might have to handle objections. That's pretty normal and common. So then you'll get to the actual closing. And basically, when a customer comes in your front door, they've already selected you, right? And they know that they want to go with you. So you just have to be honest with them and fill their need to solve their problem as best as possible. And then you should be closing with them. But even to get through all this and get them in the front door, we have what are called pillars of trust. So let's put them right here. So what do you guys think? We'll rate them from a 1 to 10. What do you guys think are the 3 things that the customers have to trust to be able to complete a sale with you? Any guesses?
Your product and your knowledge about it.
Yep, so it's 3 P's, if that gives any hints. Product is one of them. So let's go over product. So basically you have to actually have a product that meets their needs, right? And it has to be a good product. So the reason in our mission statement is we have quality products is because we want that to be a 10. Now you might be able to trick somebody into coming and selling with you with a 1 product, but they're never gonna come back, right? Because it was garbage, and they're definitely not gonna refer people. So you got to blow them away with the product. Now we love selling our ceramic because we basically never have complaints about that. Honestly, we don't really have complaints about any of them, as long as we sell to them on what they actually recommend. But if I was selling a product that wasn't a lifetime warranty, like SunTech actually sells a 3-year warranty film that will fade and turn purple, usually after the 3 years. Now, if I was selling that and 3 years it turned purple, that might devalue the rating of our products. They're like, well, it was an entry-level product, but it still turned purple. I don't want to go back to them, right? So you need a product that you can warranty out, and SunTech is awesome with warranties. Another reason why we use them as our vendor. So we want a 10 product, and we want the install, and then to guarantee that it's a 10, because mistakes happen, right? We provide lifetime warranties. So that if they have issues with anything, we just have them come in, we replace it for free, and there's usually no complaints. Other than sometimes, obviously, people don't like the time out of their day, but stuff happens. It's always going to happen. So you need a product that's going to solve their needs, and it's also a huge reason why you don't force upsells, because if you force an upsell and they feel like they're kind of ripped off because it was way too much than they needed to solve their problem, then that lowers the trust of that product and the trust in you, which is actually number 2, the person. So now if they don't trust that you have their best interests in mind, they're probably not going to come back, and they're definitely not going to refer other people. So you have to be honest with them, which is one of our core values, and then you have to be presented a certain way, right? So we have a rule with our guys is they have to be in something branding. I absolutely love polos. I think I look nice in them. But a lot of our guys, they don't like polos, and they're kind of, the younger crowd. So we at least put them in nicer, clean stuff. Like we don't allow sweatpants. In the summertime, we'll allow shorts, but we don't allow like basketball shorts. We don't allow like beat up clothes with holes and stuff in them. So you want the person to look like they're a trustworthy person. Now in a tin shop, who do you think the people that are willing to buy the ceramic and have the nice vehicles and the things that you're gonna make the most profit off of are gonna go to? The guy that looks like a bum, or the guy that looks like a professional that can do the job well and do it right the first time. So you need their trust to be on line of a 10, or they won't come back and they won't refer people. All right, last one. This is a P that could also start with a C, but 3 P's sounds better than 2 P's and a C.
That's not a top.
Any ideas?
Price.
It's place.
Oh. See,
You don't even know what?
I don't even know.
We do this training every single year in the fall with our guys. Every single year.
I'm pregnant.
I've been
Leave
doing
me
it like
alone.
5 years in a row now.
I'm pregnant.
So I do this exact same training with our guys going into the fall because that's our slow time. So like this becomes huge.
It's not our slow time. It's going into our slow time.
It's going into our slow time.
We're still pretty busy in the fall.
Because our guys kind of get too comfortable in the summer because we're so backed up that they don't have to worry about as high of customer service, and I have to keep reminding them, but it's absolutely important during our slow time. So this would be, the other P is place or company.
Your M looks like an N.
Looks like an N.
Company.
There you go. Okay, so now they need to trust Lifestyle Tint, right? And part of this is Google reviews, which we're gonna get into over here. The number one thing that people usually look at is Google reviews or referrals. So that's also where we start talking about being in the 10s for the referrals. People need to trust the place. So Lifestyle Tint has to have a good reputation. That's why responding to people online is so important. Even you're always gonna get a customer that's mad. And I actually think that if you get a 1-star review, as long as you're actually, honest and doing good customer service, you'll get the people that are kind of illegitimate reviews, or they're just not going to be happy. They're not going to be having a good day. And if you respond to them in a positive and professional manner, that actually boosts people's trust in you. Because if you can deal with a really bad customer that professionally and well, they're going to want to go to that company, especially when the large majority of your reviews are going to be 5 stars.
And although sometimes reviews make you angry because you know how hard you've worked and it's just not accurate, if you need to take a step back before answering, I highly suggest that, because I look at reviews and how a company answers. And if they answer with a defense, I'm like, okay, I don't want to go there. So take a deep breath, respond respectfully and professionally. And like Corey said, it backfires on them, and a lot of time they actually delete their reviews.
Yep. The large majority of the time when they respond very negatively and in a bad manner, and you respond very professionally, when they cool down, they'll see how bad they look, and they'll usually remove the review. I actually hate when they do that, because not only is that counted as an extra review on our Google, but like I said, people aren't going to necessarily trust a company that only has 5-star reviews. They're going to kind of think that that's bullshit, because nobody's perfect, right? And no customer is going to be absolutely perfect. Like, once you've been in business so long, you're going to deal with a bad customer at some point. You just can't please everybody. Somebody that maybe in the winter, when we have to be a little bit more relaxed on our funnels because we're slow, we'll kind of jam somebody in here like he's too far away, but with our warranty work, we have to do it in shop because we have by far the best area and qualified area to have the best outcome. And they might not have the best outcome at their house if they're like 2 hours away, but because we were so slow, we had the extra time to drive out to them, right? And now they're mad because they don't want to drive in 2 hours for a warranty that, you know, some stuff just happens. So they might be mad. They would technically be out of our funnel, but we're slow, so we jam them in the funnel, and then it ends up being like a bad review, and you just respond to them very well. What?
We're talking about your biceps.
Oh, they look nice?
Don't. He said that he liked your biceps.
Is that Jason?
Yeah, and then...
How did I know?
Then they liked it, and I said my hunky, and I sent a gorilla.
Love you, Jason. We still got to do a competition together.
He
Anyways.
was mine first, Jamie.
What?
He was mine first.
Oh, okay.
It's true. We're deployed together. Okay, so the reputation of the company. So that's probably the first thing that people are gonna see when they're at the top of the funnel. So that, honestly, that's probably one of the more important things to get down first. And then your product is probably going to be more in the middle of the funnel. So once they find you and they see that, you know, your company is legit, they're going to see the product, make sure that it can solve their problem and their needs in here. And then they deal with the person last, right? So this is like a phone call, or it could even be coming in the door. Usually it's like a phone call or email or something like that.
You're
that gets
pushing
them in
it
the
back,
funnel.
and we're now in the glare. I don't know how that happened, but we're in a glare again.
There.
Sure.
There. Maybe.
That's fine. That's better. It's better.
Okay, so does anybody have questions about the pillars of trust, or kind of how you walk people through, customers walking them through the sales timeline?
And is there anybody that would like to go in more in depth of our funnel system? Because we can go on a whole hour, another class of just our funnel process, because I don't think we barely touched on our funnel and how we funnel our people out, because we've wasted so much time on people and money and emotions that it's just not worth it. And we've learned how to funnel those out, and we didn't go really in depth in that. And if y'all are interested in us putting together another class for just funneling, we definitely can.
Yeah, we can go way more in depth into all these. This is just kind of a general way of how to get kind of the perfect customer, and then how to run them through the basic sales timeline, and then how to kind of recycle them through and let them advertise for you.
Yeah, because I mean, each of these subjects we're kind of going over, these 3 things right now, can honestly be a whole hour of training.
Does anybody have any questions about this, of how it might work in their business? Or do you guys have kind of something like this slightly down?
What questions do you like to use to close a deal?
Um,
Or how do you close a deal?
Basically, I figure out what their problem is, and then I recommend the product that solves their problem, and then I just ask for the sale. I usually, so like,
Always.
yeah, so, and that's huge too. Even getting them in the door is technically asking for the sale right there. We do our customer service reps that. We have them say, you know, would you like to schedule an appointment? You know, that's asking for the sale to get them in the door, and then asking for the sale to get them to pay when they're here, or at least accept the work.
So the big thing too is if you're doing like calling or emailing, something in that sense, don't go into your qualifying question, like your in-depth qualifying questions and your recommending products, trying to get them in the door. Get them in the door first. Get them like, you know, if you're doing door-to-door sales, get them to get to their house, their offices, and then do all of your stuff. So you're face-to-face, and it makes it a little bit more challenging for them to say no. Once they've already said yes to a sit-down meeting, they're more than likely to continue to say yes.
Yep. So this is basic knowledge to make sure that they're a good customer, that you know you can solve their problem with one of your products. And then you ask to get them in your door, and then you run them through the sales timeline and ask more qualifying questions. So for an example, if we had like parents come in and they say, I want darker tint that looks nice, and my kid's in the back and it says it's too bright. Then I would say, okay, well, I would recommend our Evolve 20% on your whole vehicle. 20% is the most popular that most people like, so it looks really good on the front sides. And then when we wrap it around the back is factory at 20, so when we layer 20 over it, brings it down to a Lemo 5. So that way the sun's not gonna bother your kids. And the ceramic infrared, or the full ceramic Evolve also blocks a ton of heat, so it's gonna be the most comfortable inside for your family, especially in the summertime. And it blocks 99% of UV rays, so you don't have to worry about your dash and stuff like that.
So, Jason, with your question about the CRM programs, we've actually tried to do that, but in our industry and the type of clientele that we have, we were seeing that we were wasting more time and money doing cold calls to these people who were doing like jot forms. That's what we were using, and it just wasn't worth it because I don't think we got anybody from there. We have Square is what we use, and we use the Square appointments, and so we have all of our client database on that. So that's kind of like our CRM programs, but we don't find customers through there. Corey has, like he said at the beginning, narrowed down his advertisement through Facebook to his perfect person, I guess the perfect clientele, and that's strictly what we use. So our marketing funds are extremely low compared to a lot of other companies, based off of what Corey's kind of teaching you right now with the funnel process. And really, it's a lot of trial and error on what you're finding works and what doesn't. And if it's working, continue doing it and don't try and change it up. Just continue doing it until it doesn't work anymore. But for different industries, it might be beneficial to look into CRM programs, just because, you know, if you're in construction.
Can I pick this up?
Yep.
Okay, so the CRM, I would use that if you're getting to a huge company, like you're doing, and it depends on your industry, $10 to $100 million, where you have the extra money to pick up the, you know, like you might have a customer kind of like right here, right? And you could solve their problem. They're going to take a little bit more time and energy, and that's what the CRM is for. So you can kind of bring them into your funnel, but this costs extra money, right? And right now we're kind of doing a class on like slightly newer companies. So you want to find like your perfect customer. They're going to take way less time to get them in the door, and they're going to be way easier to recycle them through. And the CRM takes a lot of time and energy. So it's usually a program that's going to cost a little bit extra. At least for us, it definitely takes a lot more time. We looked into the AI bots that can do it for you, but even them, to set it up was like $3,000 to program it to automated responses. And then it was a membership from there on. So most companies that are doing a couple $100,000 a year, or even like 1 or 2 million a year, can't really afford that, or they're not going to get a big enough bang for their buck. But now if they're like $100 million company or $10 million company, or they're doing a lot of online sales where they're trying to reach a mass amount of audience, that might be better for them, because like we only have so many employees here to help so many people at a time. But if you're doing like an online sales and you're selling just products, then you're basically only slowed down by how quick the manufacturer can make it. Then you can always get a better manufacturer that can make more products faster. So for an industry like that, a CRM would be really good. Or for us, I'm willing to bet once we get around like the $5 to $10 million a year mark, you know, and we have several locations, that's probably when we're gonna invest the extra money in a CRM, because if we invest an extra, you know, $2,000 to $3,000 a month, but we're bringing in, you know, a couple $100,000 a month, it's not that big of a deal. But we don't want the main budget of our marketing to go towards a CRM when I can get a lot more qualified customers through Google or Facebook. Does that kind of make sense? Or answer the question? Did he answer it?
Tyler and Brett just entered, so Tyler said he's been trying to get in for a little while, so I said that we are recording this and we would email them the link to watch it.
Perfect. All right. So then once you get down here, your closing, I like to do this basically right after the closing. So we'll make that blue again. And then this is the upsell. So have you ever, like, even when you bought something online, was it hard to read?
No, you just keep pushing it back. I'm gonna need to put bricks behind you so you can't push it.
So if you ever bought something online, it's really easy for them, like a CRM can kind of do this, is it basically notifies them after the fact, like you buy a product and then it says, would you also be interested in this? Or Amazon does similar products, right? So they're trying to do an upsell. Now for us, what we do is we get the customer saying yes, we solve their problem, their main problem that they know about, that they came in for. And in my example with the kids, you know, we sold them on all the sides and rear window because that's like a normal tint job, right? My upsell would be mentioning the front windshield. And that would basically be, you know, 50% is really popular. It reduces glare for headlights at night. So a problem they probably didn't even think about that they had was the glare off the headlights at night. And it's their main window facing up where the sun is going to beat in. That can ruin their dash with UV rays and also brings in a ton of heat. So now I basically told them about a problem that they didn't even know that they had, and now I can upsell it to them, and I'm more likely to get that upsell because they already accepted the price of the other product versus mentioning it right away here. For us personally, another one is like tinted taillights, stuff like that, or if they have a brand new vehicle that comes in, we'll mention paint protection films. So your industry should have basically levels of products. Like your core product, you should kind of have a good, better, best, and then you should have products that kind of branch off of that. Like we have our windshield, taillight tint, and our PPF. And then even if we get people that come in for PPF, then we can mention like vinyl or tint or whatever. So you should have products that are very similar to your industry or what you're doing, but are kind of like a side upsell. And it's super easy extra money to get.
If you have the time.
What?
If you have the time.
Okay. So once you get, hopefully you get the upsell at least, the customer checks out, right? Now at the checkout, that's kind of where all the magic happens. Let's make that green and black. Let's make it black. But I kind of call them, I'll do this like, that looks ugly. The recycle. All right, customer's happy. Even the upsell, if they don't accept it, you should have like a little card, a referral card or something like that. Or not a referral card, a quote card. So you should write on your quote card what it was, the problem it solved, what you quoted it at, that kind of thing, and hand it to them. Because we call that planting the seed. So basically, you mention a problem they have. If they don't accept it that day, you at least planted a seed for them to visit you in the future. And then our checkout process, how it would go is for us, they come up front, usually let them inspect the vehicle first because they're going to be like super happy when they see the difference. They should be happy once you show them that their problem was solved, right? So they're in a good mood. We ask them card or cash, and then as they're paying, we actually give them we give them a free air freshener. So these are the air fresheners that we give out to our customers. They cost $1, So when we're selling things that are a few $100s, this is almost like nothing. However, no other competitor gives like a free bonus perk. So we just added that much more value that no other competitor does. And the trick to this is we offer this right before the tip screen comes up. If you're selling a product with a service, so when you give a customer a free product, it's called a reciprocity rule. Reciprocity rule. Anyways, so basically they got something for free. Now they feel like they kind of have to pay you back. So we've noticed that this bumps up our tips quite a bit. And it's just being honest and giving them something for free. And if the customer's super awesome, we'll give them different smells and stuff like that. So then after that, they're cashed out. And then we thank them for joining us, and we say, if you would like, we can throw in a free t-shirt for a Google review. Now, our competitors don't do that either, and they actually rag on us saying that we buy our reviews. But if you go to like Google and search kind of their terms, they're customers that legit came to us, legit bought something from us, got a product, and all we're doing is we're giving them a piece of merchandise that's free. So our t-shirts, which we have here, is the main thing that we give out for a Google review. Buying these in bulk, they only cost us $7.50 a piece. So again, now we're at $8.50 to thank a customer. We got a bigger tip, so that usually pays for both of these, right? And then now they're also branding for us. So this is included in our marketing expenses, and they're gonna be walking around with your brand everywhere because they got it for free, and you get a Google review on top of that. So we're building our company's trust kind of naturally and easily. Jamie, can you put the link to the air fresheners in there? So I do have a link for the company that does our air fresheners. They'll create your logo completely free for you. You just have to buy a minimum of 100, and the more you get, the cheaper it gets. With our link, you'll get 5% off. And I'm not gonna lie, typically where they do their upsell. So if you buy, we typically buy them at 1,000. So we buy 1,000, and then it'll say, would you like to double your order for 20% off? So really I want 2,000, but I'll buy 1,000 because I know the next one I'll get 20% off. So they do really good at upselling though. That's an easy way for them to get it. All right, and other things that we'll also give out.
Someone's talking. Was someone saying something?
Yeah, sorry, do they only do air fresheners or do they do other products?
They do, I think they do other products as well.
That we give out?
No, to the company that I'm about to send the tag to.
Yes, they do. So they do like lanyards, pens, mouse pads. I mean, kind of all the typical stuff that you see branded that they give out. They do all of that. And she'll post a link in it so you guys can have that.
That's what you sent me earlier, right?
Yes. And the shipping is kind of time consuming. Give them like a month. We only do the air freshener, so I don't know how long lanyards and stuff take, but he gets your logo done like within a few days, and then I would imagine it's probably made in China, right? So it does take a while for shipping, but I've never had a problem. And any customer service questions or anything that we've done with them, they've been absolutely fantastic. So like we're built off customer service. They're one of the only other companies that I know does fantastic. But for branding, the other things we'll give away is we'll give away like custom-made decals. We even have license plate frames. We have 4 different styles of hats. We have sweatshirts. You should look at things that in your industry kind of correlate to it, or things that people use on a daily basis that they're actually going to look at, mainly like the shirts and hats and stuff like that. And then what you're doing is you're getting the company trust built up, you're getting an extra tip, and then they're actually doing the marketing for you with the shirts. So that is one of the reasons why they're doing, they're going to get other people back to you. So this would be branding. people are gonna see Lifestyle Tint on their shirt, they're gonna ask a question, you solve their problem for them, so you're gonna get referrals. And referrals is by far, repeat customers and referrals is by far our biggest customer that we have. And it's also completely free. Well, minus if you give away like a $5 t-shirt. But let's be honest, how expensive is it to pay for Google reviews, Facebook reviews, all of that stuff? We actually just closed on a shop expansion here, actually this morning. This morning. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not an accountant. I absolutely hate doing the numbers and the books and all that stuff. So they ran everything down, and out of our gross profit, we only spend 2.3% of our total income on marketing. And that's including the free t-shirts, hats, and all that stuff that we give out. The Google ads, Facebook ads, all that stuff. And he said the average is usually closer to 20%.
It is.
We'll do that for bigger companies.
Minute Press is Mindy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're saying we get our shirts from the same website. We do not. We like to support local. We're huge in community. If you guys follow our Facebook page, you see that we're always trying to support and protect our community. So we do what we can to help and give our money back. So Mindy is our shirt dealer, our hat dealer, sweatshirt dealer, and then our custom decals, our flag decals dealer for us. And they've taken really good care of us.
They're another company that just absolute excellent customer service. They are going to be more expensive. We could probably go to China and save a couple dollars or whatever buying mass.
But China isn't going to give us
Yeah.
onesies for every single month of.
They did. So yeah, so they kind of blew us away. They gave us free onesies that were branded for our little girls that we're going to have. And the nice thing about them is if I ever have a problem with anything, or like we took our guys on a cruise this last year, we do a yearly trip to thank them. And kind of last minute, I had the idea, just like this, when I forced Jamie to nail it out really quick and set it up. I put it on Mindy. We had literally a week until we were leaving, and I was like, you know, it'd be really nice if we all had matching branded T-shirts that were also different for the people that are going to be our veterans that went on this cruise. So she literally came up with branded T-shirts for that cruise specifically. Had them rushed to her, got them printed out, and then got them to us in time. And you're not going to get that from somebody else that's further away that charges a little bit less. So the added expense is worth it. Plus, since they're local, they refer business to us. So in the end, it pays for itself. Okay. So we hit the Google. Does anybody have any questions about getting the Google reviews? To be completely honest, with the upsells and Google reviews, the number one thing that a lot of companies fail on is just asking.
Yeah.
Literally at the checkout, it should be part of your routine where you just ask for a Google review, you ask for a referral, and then you send them away with a piece of information like a business card, or if you know there's like something that they might purchase in the future, you recommend an actual quote card and giving them that.
And if you're an online type business, obviously you're not going to have a checkout. Once they get their product, reach out to them personally and ask them their experience, and then just ask, do you mind if you could put this, Google and Facebook? I really appreciate it. I'll send you a thank you. And then maybe even just send them, like for Cindy, for your baskets, give them a discount, 10% discount or something that's not really going to take away much. But it's kind of like a, hey, here you go, thank you so much type of thing.
Yeah. We try to keep it pretty simple though, so we don't get into like giving them like money back or whatever.
Well, no, I mean, saying for online,
yeah,
you can't really hand them a decal.
Yep. And then let's see. So for the branding too, coming up with this. So right now, Lifestyle Tint, we're still like considered in our infancy stages. Locally we're known, but we're not like a huge brand. But if you think of the bigger brands that really get big, that's where they're able to charge more and actually become something iconic. So like locally here with our customers, we get people that won't even call and compare prices to competitors and stuff like that, because they know what they're gonna get out of Lifestyle Tint. So think of like Louis Vuitton, they would be like the high end. Like people that know that they want something that is going to hold its value and is going to function, and if it breaks, it's going to get immediately fixed or replaced. They know that they can just go to Louis Vuitton and they don't have to shop around. Or even like some lower end stuff like Under Armour. I absolutely love Under Armour, but
Patagonia.
And Patagonia. But anyways, for Under Armour, I know exactly what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get the same thing. It's gonna be comfortable. It's gonna look nice on me. It's in my price point. So that's why branding is so important. And then you also get the people that aren't gonna be trying to negotiate with you because they just want, for us, like a tint company, they want lifestyle tint. They don't want just the cheapest. They want our brand because they know what it does. All right, is there any questions kind of on that and following through?
Cindy said something. Okay, she's just saying what they do for Elite for their towing.
Okay.
Lifestyle specifically doesn't consider anyone else based off of how you treat your staff. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'll just elaborate off that. I mean, I see your trips you do with them. I see how, I mean, I've been a customer a couple times as well.
Yep.
I see how they have fun while they're working as well. So for that reason, I'm like, I'm not going to even consider going somewhere else because they're just going to be I mean, you guys are professional, but they're going to be all right, give me your keys. We'll pull it around back. Talk to you when we're done.
A number.
Whereas your guys back there, they can have fun, still do quality work, get it done timely. So that's the main reason I was starting to get the real interest in the company too.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like I said, it's just customer service. So the main thing, like that kind of goes with our vision statement, is Lifestyle Tint's named Lifestyle Tint because we want our employees and our customers to live our lifestyle. So the 7 days a week. And then also our guys are 100% commission based. So we want players working for us that are going to want to do their best so they can make the most instead of being capped at another company. And then we even give them the option to learn each skill. And then we'll give them books and give them coaching for entrepreneurship, and then encourage them to open up their own shop. And even if they leave us, at least we did their job. And if we have a competitor, it'll be a competitor that respects us and will send people back. But for the most part, we treat them so well that they usually don't want to leave. Good people just tend to stay with us. And because of our culture and our vision statement, what I would kind of consider the shitbags, they filter themselves out. They just don't last here in this environment. So does anybody have any questions even relating to their business? Because we're kind of right at that hour mark of how you get people in, how you qualify them to know that they're going to be your perfect customer for your business and what you cater to. Get them in the door, solve their problem, handle the objections, close, upsell, and then get them to basically brand and refer customers for you, and then come back in.
So I'm answering Cindy's question that she just said. She said that she has a processor that has a custom message that puts in their email from Elite that they ask for a Google review and Facebook review. And I just said that in my opinion, I wouldn't personally leave a review based off of that because I probably wouldn't even see it. Because I don't really pay much attention to my whole emails. I just read what I need to read and I get past it.
Send an email up to collect reviews?
Yeah, but I would be more inclined to leaving a Google review or Facebook review with a personal ask. Like if they called me and been like, hey, how can we better ourselves? I'm like, wow, that's a company that's really going way out of their, you didn't have to do this. I will go leave a review. Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, your CRM can do that and follow up with people for you, but the high quality and where you're going to get the actual reviews is one-on-one with somebody, especially when you use the reciprocity rule to give them something like a t-shirt in exchange for 5 minutes of their time to leave a review. Because if you just ask somebody, hey, would you leave us a review? I don't know, 1 out of 10 will do it. But for us, if we say, hey, would you leave us a review and I can throw in a free t-shirt, a hat, a license plate, frame, or whatever, I would say we close half of those. And we've only been in business about 7.5 years. Number 2 company in Minnesota is Tint Pros. They're half of our reviews and they're not even a 5-star. Under that, everybody else is like maybe 200-300 and below. And we're actually 1 review away. Earlier I checked from 1,600. So we're at 1,599.
Yeah, but you don't always have to give something away. If someone were to call me and just ask me my experience, and then be like, hey, can you give me an honest review for on my Google so that my other customers can see? I think in my mind that's just fine, because there's like for towing, I don't know how they can give T-shirts out for towing, because or something like, or a gift basket. So like she can't send out a T-shirt like, hey, if you want, if you leave me a Google review, I'll send you a T-shirt.
Yeah, or
Like-
even like a link for 10% off the next
Yeah.
time if they need a tow in the future or something like that.
Oh,
Something
geez.
something that you can track. Yeah, something in your industry. There's got to be something in the towing industry that you can give to people that kind of has to do with your industry that they also use
Right.
regular basis, or maybe even put like air
A
fresheners,
magnet.
or something like that in the tow trucks, where maybe you don't give it out, but like they get towed, and the tow truck at the end of their interaction with them, they thank the customer for using them, and then offer something for free. So our mobile cars, I keep air fresheners in all of them, and I actually have a few license plate frames. And then if somebody does want a T-shirt, specifically ask for it, I get their information, and I usually give it to our customer service reps, and then they send it out. We're gonna be starting, because we're getting like more of them. Basically, like every Friday, the customer service reps will go through all of the orders and then ship them out. So you go out of your way with customer service to help them, and that's gonna make a loyal customer for life. And